Back in sunny California. Haven't done any videos in a long time. It's just been really crazy in the last 2.5 months. I've been with family abroad on an extended trip that wasn't planned, and had some work stuff abroad that came up, and unfortunately, death in the family due to suicide. I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but suicide is very serious, and it's not worth it. If you're feeling down, call the National Prevention Suicide Hotline. I urge you to call that. There's people that care about you, there's people that love you, and life is too precious, and life is a bitch. Every day you gotta fight. You gotta fight every day. I'm sort of a morose person, and those negative thoughts creep into my mind. I get sad, but it's not worth it. And you got to think about all the people that you're going to affect in your life. If you don't even have anyone, there's still people that care about you, and you call the hotline and get some help. That's all I'll say. God bless. But anyway, we're here today to talk about cars, and they've had my car for 7 weeks because I was out of the country, and this is 2013 C63 Pre31 RENNTECH. The last thing we wanted to do to this car is put the MBH long tube headers. So they put the MBH long tube headers, did a resonator catalytic converter delete with the MBH straight pipes, and then the stock mufflers, they take all the crap out of them, but they had to do one more thing to my mufflers, and then they seal them up, and it sounds unbelievable. MBH website, they say 40 to 50 horsepower increase. Every gear you feel the power band in manual mode. Now you have C, Sport, and Sport Plus. If you're in C and not getting on it, it's not bad. The guy who did the work said, I think we should put the resonators on because it's too loud. You're driving down the street, people are turning their heads, and a lady on the street where I had the car parked told me that that's not appropriate. So, all I have to say, it's fun. And I initially thought about it when I got on it, and maybe I should take it back, but I'm not. It is unbelievable. And a couple people already came up to me and said they love it. But it is loud when you get on it and you're going through the gears. And when you cold start it, it rumbles great. I think it's just a completely different car. I mean, I've been in some Ferraris and my dad. This sounds better than the 488. So, it's ridiculous. So, with that said, let's give it a quick spin. And you can hear it. Got a little traffic out here in the mountains, but we'll make the best of it. We got a Porsche and we got a Jag. All right, we got a tunnel, so we'll downshift it to 1. All right, here we go. That's unbelievable. Excuse me, I use the Lord's name in vain. Wow. The power band in every gear. With the suspension and the control arm work and the springs, this thing's dialed in. All right, we got a little room here, but I got to make sure there's no police. I'm not going fast though, I'm just revving. It's just too fun. All right, here we go. Not even hitting the gas. Downshift to 3rd. I'm just touching it. Got a corner here. The thing just cradles the corners now. So you're looking at 481 horsepower with the developmental package stock. I'm not a numbers guy as far as 0 to 60, but I think stock does 3.9, 0 to 60, quarter mile, 12.34. Look at the Motor Trend articles. Shuts off at 174 miles an hour. With all the RENNTECH work and all this work, it's pushing about 628 horsepower to the engine. So you do the math. This car is insane. And it weighs 3,649 pounds. The new one weighs about 3,900, 4,000 if you look at the coupe. So with the suspension work on top of it, this car will smoke a lot of cars. Got another tunnel coming up. Got a lot of corners here, but it just hugs the corners, goes in very nicely. Understeers, not bad at all. Downshift to third. I'm going to slow down here for the tunnel. Well, it's been a while since I drove a car here. Alright. Let's see what this thing can do now. That was almost full throttle. And it linked up good. Just hear the pops. That is just, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sound. I don't think it's too loud at all. It's like, it's pure symphony to me. Pavarotti, Mozart, whatever. It's unbelievable. I don't think I'll change a thing. But my plan with this car is it's done, and I'm probably going to move it on to something else. I'm probably going to keep it a little while, because I really haven't had time to enjoy it now that it's complete. But, you know, the joy I get is kind of doing the car out and getting it all done the way I want it. But this is a really slick car. It's just done perfect. It took about 9 months on and off, all the work. But MBH, you know, I've looked at all the other headers. Those are the best headers, period. And I was fortunate enough to drive in my buddy's car who had them. And they really do a good job when they weld them and put them together. And they come out beautiful. Let's see if we get another turn in. So we're in 4, as you know, transmission 7 gears. You know, I give the tranny an 8.5 out of 10. You know, the response is not as good as it should be, and I know they switched over to the Mercedes. He did something to the transmission. I apologize. He cleaned it up a little bit. It was like $2,000, whatever the hell he did. So it is a little better. Maybe I'm being a little picky. But overall stock, 8.5. But the response is better. I just haven't driven it enough to notice. I'm just going by what he said at the moment. But this car is dialed in, the steering, the exhaust, the engine, and the RENNTECH. If you don't know much about it, you know, I would say their claims are pretty spot on. You know, the ECU's 66 horsepower, low end 50. You know, the carbon airbox looks great, but it probably adds 10 horsepower. And the throttle body adds 15 to 20. I think they're pretty spot on. And my buddy went with another company, and he fried out his electrical system with the ECU. So RENNTECH's a little more expensive, but you're not going to have the problems. Well, that's all I wanted to do today. I'm back in town. You know, the AMG GTC, I told you in the last video I'm not a fan, and I did sell it. And I got something else, and we'll profile it when I have time. But like I said, this car is done. I might do one more thing with this car with a buddy, and we'll get some more exterior shots and do some racing with it, drag racing maybe. But that's all I wanted to do today. Get back in the swing of things in here in California. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.